Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 20 Minute Moat podcast by Volume.io. Here we talk with senior thought leaders and practitioners in the space of customer support to understand how customer support is evolving and how is tech enabling them to build delightful support experiences.
Today, I have a very special guest with me, Sunil. I'm a great admirer of his work and the great admirer of the brand that he works for. Uh, Welcome to the show, Sunil.
Hey, thank you, Siddharth.
Sunil, why don't you start off by giving an introduction about yourself and the company that you work for our listeners?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you, Varun, for having me on this podcast. Just to give you a quick insight about my overall career and the organization I'm working for. So I had the customer service operations for RPG Group, two brands, that is Seniority as a startup company and now Evergreen Community Services as well. Carrying an experience of almost around 16 years into customer service domain, worked with various BPOs and startups and some well-established organization, international as well as domestic. Talking about more about Seniority and Evergreen Club. So Seniority and Evergreen both are the startups specifically designed and curated for senior citizens. Seniority is an e-commerce platform available for senior citizens where we have various products for their not only medical requirements but day-to-day ledger and other things which they require on a day-to-day basis to live their life comfortably. And talking about Evergreen Club, we struck this idea during the pandemic, where we started an online community for senior citizens, where we have various type of online virtual sessions curated specifically for this young at heart people above 50 years. The program is designed in such a way that we cover each and every aspect of life. That is not only health by conducting yoga and meditation session, but also their hobbies, to curate their hobbies. We have art and craft session, calligraphy sessions, as well as to keep them entertained, we have Antakshari, we have Tambola, and we have Bollywood quizzes, we have fancy dress and other things. And most importantly, we've recently started with courses as per their demand. You will not believe, senior citizens are, they're looking to learn international languages as well. So we have courses for Spanish, German, French, and we conduct almost around 35 to 40 sessions a day, just to keep these seniors engaged during the pandemic, where they have just got rid of their social lives before the pandemic.
Wow. And that's why I'm a big fan of the brand that you work for, right? I think this is something very unique and something very, it's a problem that is worth solving.
Correct. Right? That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And all right. So, my next question is, how are you, in terms of the company Evergreen and in terms of seniority, right? I mean, you touched upon this, right? Saying that during the pandemic, they have lost their hobbies and they lost their social circle.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How has it, impacted the brand, and did you pivot? What did you do to make changes to your brand? How did it evolve over the last 1.5, 2 years?
Oh, year 2020, I think that has brought a huge difference in not only in the industry, but even in our lives. It's changed people's lives drastically. It's a big impact, and even in the way business is being managed and being handled initially, and precisely if we talk more about customer service as an industry, what I feel is the industry has evolved drastically in these 2 years, specifically talking more from an, not only from a customer experience point of view, but automating major interactions to customer to enhance the customer experience and meet the changing demand and I'd rather say requirements of the customers.
Okay. And always trying to build delightful support experience.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. And you touched upon this again right now, and I would like to take a segue from there. When it comes to customer support, right, we've seen it can be very hard to measure, right? So how have you typically, and this is across your 16 years, right? How do you think customer support should be measured? What are the metrics that you will recommend somebody to track?
See, there are various measures, customer service or customer experience can be tracked. But then rather what I think is some of the major or the main important, measuring, matrix will be, the NPS and the CSAT, as well as, the recurring customer generation through these particular two tools, because this is how you'll come to know whether the customers are liking your brand, they're liking the products or not, because just doing internal quality, checks, and, having those particular parameters of, and, meeting the turnaround times of the complaint management, as well as, the response time, these are some of the important things. But I personally feel, CSAT and NPS will give you a major, rather analytics, where that where the brand is and what needs to be changed if you want to reach to more customers. Because at the end, rather than, inorganic, I think organic lead generation is the best practice, which we should all follow in the industry.
Yeah. And you just talked about how customers are, your main focus point when it comes to designing anything around customer support, right? Do you think that the customers are changing their mindset now, given customer support, for customer support? Like, are they open to queries? Are they, because I remember, there was a time where when I was young, and if I had ordered something from a shop, I had to like phone up and, get an assistant online, and I had to make sure that I was between 10 to say 4 p.m. or 10 to 1 p.m., or I was either 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. because 1 to 3 was lunchtime. So do you think customers are now changing their mindset?
Absolutely. In fact, that's a good question. I'd rather say, yes, the mindset of the customers have been changing over the years, and post this pandemic also, it has made a major impact. Uh, and who had thought, that customer service can be supported by remotely or by work from home. Now 100% customer support has been supported, and that is also in lines with meeting the change demand of the customers. Initially it was, as you said, call up during that particular hours or these hours and just try hang out about your issue. But now customers want to reach as soon as possible, and they can reach us on any modes. Like, we operate on not only on calls, but we are available on social media, we are available on WhatsApp. One of the prime and growing, customer service channel, I would rather say, because everybody there, it's more than, millions people on WhatsApp. And now WhatsApp turning into business entity to support different brands and industries.
Yeah.
I think that is the major, I would rather say, outcome of 2020, where customer service can be handled not only by voice, but majorly on chat, and not as, I would rather say, the professional chat channel, or the web chats, but yeah, WhatsApp is one of the major, interaction for customer service now.
Yeah, I think amongst all the countries, right? I think India is that one country which has leapfrogged into WhatsApp adoption like crazy. Right?
Absolutely. Even you will not believe, we catering to senior citizens, even our senior citizen clientele, the niche customer base, I would rather say, are available on WhatsApp, and they also like to interact on WhatsApp, rather than picking up phone, being on queue, or, at times, because there are a lot of calls in queue. So they rather prefer, just open the WhatsApp and start interacting with. And just to add on, AI and chatbots have made life simpler, not only for the organizations, but for the customers as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think WhatsApp is at a very, very good intersection where you can have you can go back and see, okay, what you talked about, what they actually said before, and it preserves that history, and as well, it gives you a comfort that it is secure. Nobody else is going to read that.
Correct. That's true. And even that makes life of the agents as well easy. What the chatbot have interacted with the customers, or what the customer is looking for, the history, as you said, that the agent can see on the same screen. You don't have to shuffle different applications.
Correct. And I mean, with agent, right? I mean, agent effectiveness come into very picture, right? I mean, given that we are all stretched, especially work from home customer support.
Correct.
I think WhatsApp is a very beautiful medium where things happen, where magic happens in customer support.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's 24/7.
Oh yeah, it is 24/7. And I mean, you've been in the industry long enough to see it go through various phases in customer support, right? Right from the BPO times to the now where we are on demand, or 24/7 on demand customer support. Like, I wanted to get your thoughts on what used to work before and what works now.
See, initially it was more of customer satisfaction. We were focusing a lot on customer satisfaction. Now things have changed drastically, and it's more of customer experience. building the customer experience is what is, will make the customer delightful. How his experience is with, not only with the brand, with the product, but even with the service team. How they're handling his queries, how they're handling the complaints, what has been told, what has not been told, how it's been interacted, and the availability of the service channels as well for the customers. That is improving the customer experience, and as well as changing the customer mindsets as well, and that is what is working a lot nowadays.
Got it. Uh, and I mean, you are someone who has adopted a conversational AI very quickly, and you are a big proponent of conversational AI in customer support. Uh, do you think brands, I mean, post the pandemic, have brands started adopting it, or was there this motion was there before, but pandemic just accelerated it? What in your head? What is that inflection point when it comes to conversational AI and customer support?
Siddharth, you rightly said, it was there, but then pandemic, accelerated it at such a pace. It is just, we never thought that, chatbots have been evolved in the way they've evolved in last 1 year. It had been happening in the last 10 years. Chatbots were there since 90s, but it was not explored at that level. We were just hanging on to the normal, interaction channels of calls and emails in the 90s. And now in the 21st century, the AI and chatbots have made life easier, not only for the brands, but for customer service, for customers as well. And the omni-channel technology, which has been built around towards this AI and chatbots, helped the brands to deliver that customer experience, which is the correct thing to delight the customers now. And yes, AI and chatbot has increased the pace in the market, not only through the WhatsApp or any other social media channels, but now they are developing through voice channels as well.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about chatbot and we talk a lot about automation, right? I wanted your experience in that as well. Uh, how how much effective is conversational AI given today's space, right? I mean, has it come to that level of a human level, or is it that people are adjusted to it so they feel better? Do you think there's still a bias against automation talking and people still prefer to talk to a human?
It's a mixed. I would rather say it's a mixed, overall feeling, or rather a mixed, experience altogether. Because just to give an example with us, when we started with automation last year, with seniority, uh, our being a customer clientele of senior citizens, it was a bit hard for them to acquire this new technology of chatbots, because somewhere the senior citizens need a human touch, that is not, I would not say that it is not there in the chatbots. It is being developed now, but it is going to take time. But yes, overall, if you say now, even the senior citizens over a period of 1 year and down the line, I think next 2 to 3 years, I think they will be well equipped to handle the chatbots as customers as well. Automation and AI, I would rather say, is not only helping in reducing the responses, as well as it's also helping in resolve the resolution time, overall resolution time. It's further efficient and effective. When it also and talking about human touch, or taking jobs from humans, I somewhere feel it's not a correct statement, rather, because it's making human life easy. And if we have chatbots in place, I think the humans which are there, can be utilized to develop the overall processes, and enhance the customer experience by different channels, or generating leads, or any other thing which humans can improve the processes.
Got it. And I wanted to ask you, what is that one tech in customer support you would want today? Like you have been a big proponent of adopting tech in customer support. What is that one tech that you want today? Like, hey, I want it now.
Oh, I would rather say, chats on voice, on non-voice have helped a lot. I think now chatbots on voice is going to help. I think that's the next future for customer support. I think that will further going to help, not only the customer service industry overall, but even brands and even customers as well. So they don't have to wait in queue. They just pick up a call, and a chatbot is answering that call, and all basic queries can be handled there, without going into systems and waiting for queues or waiting for a customer support agent. I think that's the next thing I would look forward, as soon as possible to explore, because I've been well versed with chatbots on non-voice channels, social media, Facebook, as well as WhatsApp. But I think now it's time to play around with the voice chatbots.
All right. And one last question before I let you go, right? In your own experience, right? What is that? Why is customer support has to be looked at? I mean, customer support has always been in my head, and I've worked with the customer support teams, has always been looked at as a orphan child or has not been given. and now brands are looking at it a very strategic angle, right? uh, what is your advice to future customer support leaders, that hey, this is what you should do in your career, or this is what you should be doing to basically advance customer support as a bigger organization in the team?
See, you rightly said initially customer service unit were taken lightly. Okay, fine, it's the customer service department. But now it is not the customer service; it's the customer service department. Because they are close to the customers. It's the voice of the customer always comes from the customer service team. And talking about rather. Giving my thought over how the customer support leader should think about in future. I think they should try and accept the AI and the chatbot industry now, because as I said, it's a mixed feeling. People are, so some are, fearing their jobs might be at risk, and some are like, accepting it with, open hands. But then over a period of time, if you think, I think the future is going to be AI, conversational AI and chatbots, because it's not only developing the customer service, but also improving the customer experience and enhancing the overall customer journey. It's certainly going to reduce the workload of the human and repetitive task of humans, and rather so that the humans can focus a lot, on utilizing their focus on upselling and handling more complex issues, or adding value to the business by improving the operational processes and efficiencies, and plugging those gap between the chatbots and the humans. And then humans have been developing the chatbots. Chatbots have not developed human. So it's going to hand in hand. So that's I would rather say we should accept it, and we should learn more about AI, and as well as the overall automation industry, and try to explore it more.
Got it. Got it. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Sunil. I've learned a lot about how conversational AI is going to help the chatbot. I mean, in terms of how chatbots and conversational AI are going to help each other out in the space of customer support. It was a pleasure speaking to you today.
Thanks again, Siddharth. Again, pleasure speaking with you guys. And thanks again for having me on this discussion panel. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Siddharth.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening in to our episode today. We'll be back with another interesting, thoughtful, and insightful episode shortly. In the meanwhile, you could check out our previous episodes on worloop.io/podcasts. If you're looking to build delightful support experiences, do reach out to us on hello@worloop.io. Till next time, this is Sid from worloop.io signing off.